Elsewhere, French troops will start to withdraw from Niger this week. France made the announcement on Thursday, complying with a demand by Niger's new military leaders that took power in a July coup. French President Emmanuel Macron previously announced a withdrawal by the end of the year. However, there have been almost daily protests outside the French military base in Niamey demanding a quicker exit. The French troops are part of a wider operation to fight insurgency across the Sahel region. Niamey currently forbids French flights over its territory, so soldiers would likely either exit through Benin to the south or Chad to the east. This latest announcement comes a week after France's ambassador to Niamey returned home following pressure from the junta. Let's bring in our reporters. Ross Cullen joining us from Paris, and in Niger's capital, Niamey, we have Gary Amadou joining us via Skype. Let's start with you, Ross. France now says its troops will begin withdrawing from Niger, or began withdrawing this week from Niger. When exactly will this start, and what does this mean for the French troop presence in the African Sahel?
Yeah, they've said that they will begin this operation this week. We had a statement from the Ministry of Defence. I'll just read out part of that. It said the disengagement of soldiers and military assets stationed in Niger begins this week. This manoeuvre should allow the return of all soldiers to France before the end of the year. Coordination with the Nigerian armed forces is essential to the success. The arrangements have been made to ensure that the movements take place in good order and movements take place in safety and security. So those troops, the 1,500 who are in Niger, are going to start coming back this week. The exact technical details of all the logistical arrangements won't be made as public as that statement that was released by the French Ministry of Defence. It's likely that there could be some movement starting in the next couple of weeks, and could well take the next couple of months if they want to complete it before the end of the year. And as that statement did confirm, those troops and all of their military assets and everything associated with the different bases in Niger will be coming back here to France.
Right. So, Gary, you are in Niamey, where there has been sustained pressure for the French troops to leave. What is happening there now?
What we can say is that now the pressure is going down. I mean, since the President Macron, said that the French will withdraw from the country, and also, the departure of the French ambassador from Niger to Paris. The pressure is going down, but there is still a little bit pressure after the press conference of the Minister of Home Affairs saying that they will not accept that French army take the route from Niamey to Benin when they will be withdrawing. So they said that they will not accept that, and he said that French is an enemy. So we have a kind of situation in which we have in social media, we have still pressure on French army. But the information we got is that yesterday, 400 French soldiers who were based in Walam, where they were, let's say, managing operation with the Niger army in Al-Mahau operation. So they are coming to Niamey, and they will take a flight from Niamey to Paris, maybe today.
All right. So, Ross, where in Francophone Africa is France now likely to take their troop headquarters? And why is a continued troop presence in the Sahel important for France?
It's important for France because it's part of that insurgency that you mentioned in the introduction, trying to counter that, disrupt and dismantle the armed groups operating in that region, and the overall themes as well of trying to fight illegal immigration. What is likely is that there could be a renewed and reinforced presence in Chad. That is still one of France's key partners in the region, after we've seen the withdrawal of troops from Mali and now starting that withdrawal from Niger. So there will be a recalibration back here in Paris as well when the troops come back, and the Ministry of Defence here about how best to redeploy those assets back in Africa at the invitation, if they are welcomed in by different African governments, especially in the Sahel region of the Southern Sahara.
Gary, Niger citizens find themselves now in a tough situation because insecurity is rising while the French troops are leaving. How can the military rulers fill this void left by the departing troops in terms of fighting the insurgency there? And what are the options left now for the government?
Yeah, the only option that remains is that Niger army has no other option that to fight with its own means. So we're denigrating Western armies, denigrating allies, so create a situation in which Niger army have to count only on its own forces to fight against terrorism. This will be very difficult because we do not have, sufficient air forces. We do not have, let's say, sufficient element. We do not have sufficient weapons. So I don't know how Niger army can face, the challenge of let's say, the development of terrorism in the country. I don't know how they will go to manage with it.
Okay, Rose, how does the general anti-French sentiment in West Africa affect Macron's government politically? And is there any visible socio-economic impact on France specifically?
There's no immediate domestic reaction. People will be more concerned here about the cost of living, about inflation impact. But in terms of an international level, there will be concern at Brussels and Berlin level about how Paris is handling this whole situation, because it's not just the two main issues are, it's not just the fact that France is having to withdraw its troops from different African countries where they have been working and serving for many years now. It's also the fact that we have seen repeated coups in the region, that is in these francophone countries, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and recently also over the summer Gabon as well. Military leaders take over there in that country, so another francophone country. So that is what will be worrying other political leaders at that international level rather than at a domestic level when it comes to that.